In this lesson, we will look at a few variations of for loop. The initialization, condition, and increment-decrement part of for loop can be used in a variety of ways. This makes for loop a powerful and versatile looping construct. Using for loops, you can do all the things possible with while and do-while loops and much more than that. The first variation that we will see involves the condition part. The conditional expression of the condition part need not test the loop control variable against some target value. It can be any Boolean expression. Let's look at a Java program in BlueJ to understand this. I will start by executing this program. This program repeatedly asks the user to enter a character and prints its ASCII code. To stop the program, user should enter 0. At the end, the program also tells the user the count of characters entered by him. I will give A as the input. As you can see, after printing the ASCII code, it again asks me to enter another character. Let me try out a few inputs. I want to stop the program now, so I am giving 0 as the input. It tells me that I asked for ASCII codes of 5 characters and exits. Let's move to the code now and understand how we achieve this functionality with for loop. Here, in the first line, we declare an int variable I. We will use this to keep a count of the number of characters entered by the user. In the next line, we declare a char variable ch which will store the character entered by the user as input. Coming to the for loop, notice that we have used the variable I in initialization and increment-decrement part, but in the condition, we have used the char variable ch. As I told you earlier, condition of a for loop can be any Boolean expression. It need not test the loop control variable only. In the body of the for loop, we ask the user to input a character, store it in the variable ch and display its ASCII code. We are incrementing I with each iteration of for loop. This helps us to keep a count of the number of characters entered by the user. Let's see how the loop will exit when the user enters 0. Let me run the program again. The program control is waiting at this line for user input. User gives 0 as input. Program control moves to the next line and prints ASCII code of 0. As this is the last statement of the loop body, program control goes back to the beginning of the for loop, increments I and then tests the condition. The condition becomes false as ch is equal to 0 and program control moves to this println statement after the for loop. It prints I as the count of the characters entered by the user and the program completes. I hope this gives you some idea about the versatility of the for loop. The next variation that we will learn is even more interesting. The initialization, condition, and increment-decrement part of the for loop are optional. You can remove any or all of them if you want. For loop will still be syntactically valid. In our display ASCII code program, I can remove this initialization part of for loop and initialize I along with its declaration like this. This is a valid for loop. The code compiles with no errors. We can remove any part, but notice that we still need to write semicolons. Otherwise, we'll start getting errors. Putting back the semicolon. Now the code compiles fine again. Next, I will remove this increment-decrement part and move it inside the for loop like this. The code compiles just fine. Let me run it and show you that everything is working just like before. I will test the extreme by removing the condition part too. Let's see if our for loop is still valid by compiling the code. We got an error. It is not in the for loop but in the line just after for loop. The error says unreachable statement. I will comment out this line and we will come back to this error in a moment, but first I want to show you that this is a valid for loop. Code compiles fine after commenting the line, so this is a valid for loop. You can omit any part of the for loop you want and it will still be syntactically correct as long as you remember to specify the semicolons. Coming back to the error we got for which we commented out this line, let me uncomment it now. This for loop is not the same as the one before where we kept the condition and omitted initialization and increment-decrement parts. Since we have specified no condition, this for loop will continue iterating forever. It will never stop. We call such loops that never stop as infinite loop. So, the program control will never reach this println statement after the for loop. Java's compiler is very smart. It detects this infinite loop and marks this line in error saying that it is unreachable. I am commenting this again to run the program and show you the infinite loop. It is repeatedly asking me to enter a character. Even when I enter 0, it is not exiting as I have removed the condition. To stop this program, we need to restart the JVM. We can restart the JVM by using this button. We will look at infinite loops in depth a little later in this section. Next, we will look at jump statements.